What in the hell is the matter with voters who put this goddamn insane bastard and his Theo bitch Vance in office? What in the hell? Who the hell's that damn stupid? You'll still find people who defend him. And this week, Trump had a really horrible week. There were several photo ops he had, at least 3, with foreign dignitaries, and each of them was a disaster. There was the one with Macron earlier in the week, and Macron had to correct Trump when Trump was telling lies, and it, of course, didn't work because Trump continued spewing lies. But it was really something to watch. And then there was the Prime Minister of the UK, Starmer, I think it is, yeah. He was there, and Trump made an ass out of himself, and Starmer had to sit there and listen to Trump spewing stuff he didn't know what he was talking about. And then today was the all-time low in the history of American foreign policy meetings or photo ops or whatever, or just foreign policy, period. The all-time low was this bullshit that Trump and Vance played as a tag team. It was all rehearsed, probably all rehearsed, when they went after President Zelenskyy of the Ukraine. And they wouldn't let Zelenskyy get a word in edgewise, hardly. And it was horrible. Trump was abusive. He kept talking over Zelenskyy. It was like what he did with Biden in that damn debate last June. And yet it was all Biden's fault, right? And they'd let Trump off the hook. Well, it's not so easy to excuse this. And there were people throughout the political spectrum that were just horrified at what they saw. Like John Bolton, you know, he was Mr. PNAC way back in the day. You know, when old Bush 2 was president. And he was horrified. And then we had Liz Cheney was absolutely horrified when she wrote here on Musk's platform. She said, generations of American patriots from our revolution onward have fought for the principles Zelenskyy is risking his life to defend. But today, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance attacked Zelenskyy and pressured him to surrender the freedom of his people to the KGB war criminal who invaded Ukraine. History will remember this day when an American president and vice president abandoned all we stand for. Yeah, they're tools of the Russians. Can it be even any more clear? Why the hell aren't they run out of town? Well, you've got Congress is full of them. And if they're not Russian assets, they're these goddamn reconstructionist shitheads. They're trying to destroy the government. Meanwhile, old Putin is out on his insane quest to at least recapture the old USSR territory and Europe east of the old Iron Curtain. And it was just horrifying. So Cheney shows a little bit, or links this little clip here, and it's just disgusting.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong...
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come into the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the President for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to...
Count once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems? bringing people into your military?
We have
and do you think that it's
I
respectful
will answer.
to come to the Oval Office
I
of
will
the United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You
Don't-
will not have
gotta-
a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
And it goes downhill from there. It was absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. And Vance is just, just a suck up. He's out of his depth. And it doesn't show it here, but there are photographs of Secretary of State Marco Rubio just sitting there like a sack of cement and probably embarrassed over the whole damn thing. But if he were really embarrassed, he would resign his job and not have any part of this damn fiasco. But it was unbelievable how bad it was. But, they were playing for the base, the debased base. And Dan Rather writes, it was a new low for American diplomacy in my lifetime. There are few words that are family-friendly enough to describe what happened. Embarrassing, horrifying, mortifying. People who witnessed or have watched Trump and J.D. Vance's behavior toward a visiting head of state have said it made them everything from appalled to nauseous. But here's what happened. Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy was scheduled to meet with Trump and Vance at the White House before a joint news conference and then a signing ceremony for minerals for money deal. It never got past a one-sided shouting match in the Oval Office. In what looked like a rehearsed and choreographed tag team effort, it certainly was. Trump berated and lectured Zelenskyy while Vance egged him on. In front of cameras, Trump harangued Zelenskyy for supposedly not being grateful for U.S. aid and not acceding to American demands to end the war. According to CNN's fact-checkers, Zelenskyy thanked Presidents Biden and Trump and the American people 33 times since the war began 3 years ago. The whole thing today appeared to be a setup, a trap sprung on a wounded ally. Whatever it was, it will remain through history a stain on America's reputation. This reporter has covered hundreds of photo opportunities in the Oval Office over many administrations. Such are almost always dignified occasions. Today, this tradition was sullied for the benefit of the MAGA faithful and the Kremlin. Peter Baker of the New York Times described the meeting in shocked terms. I have covered the White House since 1996. There has never been an Oval Office meeting in front of cameras like this one in all that time. Never has an American president lectured the leader of an ally in public like this, much less a leader that is fighting off invaders. Oh, it was horrible. Now, is there any doubt that he's a Russian asset? That Trump and Vance are Russian assets? What the hell are they doing even being in the country in the first place? And let's see. And then Josh Marshall put here on Blue Sky, he said, I think we have to agree that JD is such a sniveling little bitch. Of course he is. He's terrible. And then Daily Beast says, Trump thinks he humiliated Zelenskyy. He did not. He humiliated the United States of America. In addition, he put us all at greater risk of further conflict in Europe by encouraging Putin. Mob boss foreign policy will not work. It has not worked for Putin, whose violent forays into his near abroad have ended up being a disaster for the Russian military, the Russian economy, and for Russia's international standing. And it will not work for Trump, despite his many years emulating American mobsters like John Gotti and surrounding himself with mob lawyers in mob-infested industries like gambling and real estate. Yeah, he's a mobster. We have a gangster administration. he's a paper tough guy. That was never more clear than this infamous last Friday in February in 2025, when Trump finally fully revealed his decision to ally the United States with the most nefarious global criminal of our generation, Vladimir Putin, and to declare himself a lieutenant to the monstrous criminal enterprise on which Putin has focused throughout his 2 decades of dictatorship in Russia. And they all ought to be tried at The Hague, as far as I'm concerned. The USSC wouldn't get old Trump out of that one. But yeah, that was a terrible press conference. Or whatever. Not a press conference, but a photo op. And then later on, Zelenskyy went on Fox News. And it took a lot of courage for him to get on there. And he held his own against the questions. And they were, the guy was relatively civil, and he gave Zelenskyy plenty of time to respond, unlike the Oval Office disaster. And that is a statesman. That is somebody who's a leader. Not this sack of shit we got here in the White House, and that guy that's allegedly his vice president, and then of course the shadow president, Elon. And so on down the line. It was just horrifying. I couldn't believe what I heard. But anyway, I had to put my 2 cents worth in there for today's disaster. But man, this country's on the goddamn ropes. They don't even hide it, that they hate the United States and everything it stands for. Anyway, that's it.